Okay, I'm going to do a little thing here now on screw shoes. I've had a few people ask me about screw shoes. I thought this was pretty well known, but I've actually, with the winter here, I've had a few people ask me questions about screw shoes versus Yaktrax and other devices. So this is a pretty cheap way to get some additional traction out of your shoes. The other options that people play with quite a bit are Yaktrax, which I do not recommend unless you're just kind of walking around your deck with them or something like that for a little bit of traction. But those rubber bands will break down pretty quickly. And then the other higher end option that you'll see quite a few folks use are micro spikes from Kahtoola. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're certainly the highest possible traction. This is kind of a middle of the line, cheap approach. Realize you get what you pay for here, but basically I take a hex nut screw like that. Okay, this is a 5/8 inch one. It's got a 1/4 inch head, and those 6 sides give your shoe a little bit more bite and traction. It's really good for some consolidated snow or some ice. The advantage to this is that you can also run on these on the roads for some distances. It certainly will break down the head of the screw pretty quickly if you do that, but you can get away with running on the roads with these versus, say, Yaktrax. So if you got mixed terrain that's going to be both snow, ice, and then with patches of dirt, this actually works out fairly well. In the front, I use a shorter screw, this is a 1/4 inch screw, again, same 1/4 inch type head, hex nut, 6-sided, but it's shorter, and so you can figure, this is an older pair of Brooks that I've had. These are like the Cascadia 2s. You can see occasionally you'll lose a screw just from hitting a rock or something like that, but hey, at $3 to $5 a box, this is probably pretty cheap, and you get 100 screws out of that, so you can load up your shoes many times and be taken care of quite a bit for a season. Anyway, obviously longer screws in the longer part of the sole, like that. Don't want necessarily the longer screw in the shorter part of the sole, so we go with the longer in the back, the shorter in the front. You can figure out the middle. You can put in as many screws as you think necessary. I went a little hog wild with these older Cascadias. Anyway, I'm making another pair right now with these newer Cascadias. Just put in a couple screws there just to show you. Some bright, nice, shiny screws. These older Cascadias have been around for 4 or 5 seasons, so I'm going to go with this pair that I've been only using this particular season. And basically, I take my handy dandy drill and a screw, and let's go ahead and we'll use this other shoe here. And I grab a screw, put it in with my 1/4 inch head. A little bit of pressure on this. Doing this at a weird angle because of the camera. And boom, there I go. And if I want, if I don't have a cordless drill in my car, I can always use a ratchet in the car to crank them in, crank them out. They come in a box like this, tapping screws. This is an example from Timberline. You can get these at nearly any type of hardware store. Again, I would call these to be about $3 to $5 a box. So hope this helps.